Good afternoon, YouTube. Welcome back to my channel, JPM.Cuisine. Today, I have the unboxing of all unboxings. Today, we're looking at a Kramer. This is the Kramer by Zwilling, the Bob Kramer, the knife of knives, the quintessential chef's knife for anybody who cares about chef's knife. This knife runs $199 on most websites. This is a $200 knife, and yes, please notice that it comes packed in a plastic sleeve. Here we have the man himself, the legendary Bob Kramer. This is the essential collection of the Euroline. This is their base model. Regardless, this is $200. It is the 8-inch chef's knife, and it is the FC61 steel with a 61 Rockwell hardness. Very beautiful sounding knife. We've got the polymer style handle or the plastic style handle. Okay, without further ado, I'm gonna just open this plastic flap. Again, this is a $200 knife. Every knife that I've opened up so far, ranging between $13 and even $150 or so, has come in what I would say is better packaging than this in terms of collecting. This package is like half of a box. Here we go. We've got half of a box here. The top of the box could have been here, and I think the other ones that he sells comes in a wooden box. So the man himself, Bob Kramer, licensed these to Zwilling J.A. Henckels to make. They are made in Seki City, Japan. So take that as you will. But in terms of the packaging, it's minimal. Again, you're only paying $200 as opposed to the $300 or $400 price level with the other knives that he has. So this, in the sense, is a base model, and some of you are gonna say, well, you get what you pay for. At $200, I kinda expected a little bit more. It's a collector's item, right? And I want the box to match. So I'll move that out of the way, and let's get into the knife itself. So we've got some dust and whatnot from the packaging, not a very big deal at all. Lots of knives come like this. This one has a little bit of some kind of residue on it. I'm just gonna wipe it off real quick. And as always, our 4 points, we're gonna talk about the fit and finish. We're gonna talk about the, what are we gonna talk about? We're gonna talk about the fit and finish. We're gonna talk about the weight and balance. We're gonna talk about the sharpness out of box. And we're gonna talk about the overall value and quality, again, with this knife. So, just looking at the fit and finish off the top, the handle again is that polymer bubble style handle with the 3 rivets with the center rivet. That is Bob's signature item there. Just looking at it, we can tell that it's a single piece or full tang knife with a multi-piece bolster or faux bolster that's incorporated in the polymer handle itself. And starting with the tip, we've got a very nice tip. A lot of these do come, or there's mention that some of these come with twisted tips or bent tips. This is not the case for this knife. We've got the Kramer logo on it. Seamless, you can't feel any of that. Nothing raised. We've got the Kramer profile, which is a hybrid of a Western chef and a Japanese Kyoto style. The handle is immaculate, although it has some scratches and some pitting and whatnot from packaging. It's not in the most protected case that you might see, just because the plastic can rub against it. It is seamless, but I've never seen sort of that 3-piece approach at making a handle with a bolster in it. The spine is polished, so it is nice and smooth and rounded. The choil feels really nice in terms of lockup. It is a very comfortable knife in hand, but Guys, looking at some of the quality, I don't know if you can see that, but if you look here, the handles aren't very symmetrical, and there's a gap between the handle and the tang itself. So for $200, guys, I'm expecting better. The $20 knives, all the way up to $100 knives that I've been looking at and reviewing beforehand, that doesn't exist, that doesn't happen. And it's not coming with the same expectations as a $200 knife. I don't know what you guys think and when you're considering purchasing a knife, but for me, $200 is a lot of money, and spending it on a knife that I should be proud of and I should be ecstatic and excited to own. I don't know if I'm being over nitpicky, but I am gonna deduct some points away from, first of all, the way that it is set. The seams, there's a gap in the seams, and the handles aren't symmetrical. This one's a little bit longer than this side. So that's nitpicky. You can call me on it all day long. Yes, I'll be nitpicky on that. But guys, if you're buying a $200 knife, I'm looking out for you. This is going to be an area of concern because that handle just feels, you know, just the quality assurance that goes into the development of that handle, it doesn't match what you're paying for. It doesn't match the price tag. You can't tell me, well, it's a $200 knife, you know, it should be flawless. But you also can't say, hey, you bought the low end of the knives, what do you expect? No, this is the high end of pretty much most of the knives on the market, even at $200. Yes, there are higher, but at this price range, I'm expecting at least the seams to line up, and I'm expecting at least there to be no gaps in terms of the handle. I'm not partial, or I'm not particularly excited about having the bolster glued on to the spine here. I think that's kind of, you know, that's weak. You could have done better than that. Come on, man. I don't know if it impacts, but it just feels like having a single piece might be better. Of course, it is the higher carbide steel, which means, you know, it's gonna cost more, but you're paying upfront $200 for this knife. Okay, I do like the way it feels. There's some nicks and some scratches, but that handle is by far the most frustrating thing to look at in terms of this knife. I'm not pleased with that at all. And forgive me if I'm ranting about it, but you know, you're spending $200 on this knife. Okay, we'll let it go at that. Let's go ahead and get the weight and the balance. My trusty Ozeri. Here we are in grams, and we're looking at 250 grams on the nose. It's an 8-inch, very bubble style handle, nice lock up here, and let's find that balance. So the balance is gonna be, I don't know if I'll be able to get it. The balance is right on that bolster, or that artificial bolster there. That 2-piece, so it holds very nicely in the hand like that, which means that the weight from here on to the butt of the handle to the tip of the knife is where it's going to be evenly distributed. All right, let's get into some cutting, and for the sake of this test, I'll just cut some paper. It is extremely sharp. I mean, it push cuts through as you would expect, so as long as we're not anticipating any kind of issues with that, that's very nice. But what you guys really want to see is how it works on a tomato. At least that's what I want to see. So I'll do my first cut, very clean cut through the tomato. We'll go ahead and give it a wipe down off camera. Feels very sharp, balancing between the hand. Okay. Trying to get my cut in. Very nervous here. Okay, so we got my cut through. First cut, pulling from the heel on. Second minor cut. Try to pull from the heel on. It is very sharp, very clean cuts. Okay. Very, very clean, very sharp cuts. You can see the Kramer logo through it. Okay. Go ahead and give it another wipe down. Let's just keep going at this tomato until it stops or I run out of tomato. Okay. In front of me. Push through. Running out of steam there. I'm gonna be critical on this knife, and I hope you guys appreciate being critical with a knife of this stature, just because it carries a lot of expectations with it in terms of the price tag and the name. Okay, so we'll just keep on cutting here and see what we get. Gently. So I'm seeing more sharpness here than I am at that heel. It just doesn't feel as sharp at the heel. It is sharp through. Okay, let's go ahead and get some cuts in here. Very, very nice, very clean cutting. We'll run from the heel down. Okay, very nice slicing. Very nice slicing. The weight of the knife really does the work. I'm being very gentle. I'm not putting any effort trying to cut through. I'm just testing the sharpness of the edge itself. Okay. So the heel, you have some drag on the heel, not so much cutting on the heel. Not a big deal. I mean, well, big deal. Let's say that. Out of the box sharpness. It does feel good in the hands just doing that cut road there. Using the spine so I don't mess up the edge. Give it another wipe. Okay, let's go ahead and cut some more of this tomato. Right in that rough spot. Rough spot. Cutting through there. And I'm stretched out in front of myself, so I'm not expecting to get very clean cuts or very precise cuts, but I am just wanting to see how this knife works, especially from that heel. So I just want to check the sharpness throughout. Zip, 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 zip. All right, well, no big issues there cutting through that tomato. Tap that off, wipe it down. All right, let's go ahead and cut a potato here. So I'll get a potato and an onion and we'll just go through and cut, because you know, oh, that is smooth. I hate the handle. The edge is immaculate, okay? That is smooth. The filling on the edge is immaculate. Oh my goodness, that feels really, really good. Listen to see if you can hear me hit the board or not when I'm cutting through. I just want to see, because I'm not really trying to put any pressure on this. It's really, really smooth, and it cuts through a potato gorgeously. So I don't know what I'm trying to accomplish here cutting. I just feel like it is extremely sharp, okay? And I think that's kind of what they're going for. If they can woo you with the sharpness of the edge, you might overlook some of those quality control issues on that spine. So I'm gonna ask you guys, what do you think? Okay, as you're watching this video, what do you think about a knife of this stature? Does everything need to be immaculate and perfect on it? Or do we forego some of those because of the quality of the blade and the quality of the edge that we're getting from it? Well, I want to hear what your thoughts are. I want to know what you guys think, because I don't want to be overly harsh. I want to make sure that I'm comparing apples to apples, and I want to make sure that I'm covering things that matter to you. This is by far one of the nicest cutting edges that I've worked with. And I am extremely, extremely pleased with the way that it cuts, okay? To me, yes, that's worth 200 bucks. I don't know about this. Let's go ahead and get into my onion. Again, I cut off the tip and the core to make sure, or the stem, because I don't want any of those pieces in whatever I use. However, I'm probably not gonna eat this, so I'm not worried about it. This is more for you guys. All right, so we got a little bit of pressure needed there. Move this. All right, I'm gonna peel this off real quick. Okay. And we'll just do some slicing here, okay? It feels really good in your hand. It feels amazing. I did not expect this, guys. I didn't expect that. I was honestly expecting shoddy quality work because of the way that they went through and did the handle. Fit and finish gives us one impression, and it's a major impression, guys, because that's going to determine our outlook. But we can't forego performance. Performance is, you know, an additional factor. We got to think about value. We got to think about fit and finish, feel, comfort. We got to think about performance as well. What's the application? How are we going to be using this knife, and to what extent are we comfortable with investing in these as our tools? Because these are essentially tools that we're going to be using in our office. Okay, so I'm far out. Don't want to cut myself. It's not gliding in as deeply and as nicely as I would have anticipated. But again, I'm trying not to cut myself because I am standing out here. Especially, I don't want to cut myself on camera. So we'll just go through and cut, knowing that I'm wasting this much of the onion by not cutting all the way through. Inconsistent cuts, who cares? It's a Bob Kramer that I'm testing out, not my knife skills. I'll do a different video for my knife skills. Okay. It felt way better cutting through the potato. It does not feel as good cutting through this onion, okay? Let me move that out the way. Don't want you distracted. It's clean, it cuts, it's just, it doesn't feel as nice. You know, there's some drag, and it's possibly because there's moisture on the edge, but there's definitely some drag. Cutting through the potato though, it's like there is no potato. You know what I'm saying? It's what potato? So I like the knife. It feels good. The handle frustrates me because I'm gonna be looking at that all the time. I don't know if that matters or not. Sorry to keep dragging it out, but I really want to know what you guys think about that. In terms of the edge, I'm excited to see how the edge holds up with the FC61. It's the first of that steel that I've used, but I think they should have given us a better box. I think they should have put a little bit more time and effort into making sure the seams line up. I am happy that it's balanced, but for $200, you tell me what you think. I'll tell you right now that I was not impressed when I saw that handle at $200. The cutting edge changed my mind. Right now I'm split 50-50. If you don't have the money, don't buy it. If you have the money, definitely consider it. But if you've got that, you might consider going up and seeing if they got a better handle with the high carbon or with the Damascus in terms of the quality. But it is nice to hold a Kramer. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you understand and agree with my approach to this. Maybe not with my opinions, that's perfectly fine. But I did want to showcase and share with you the unboxing of this Kramer Euroline. All right, you guys, thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. It's the 8-inch Bob Kramer chef's knife. Keep saying Bob Kramer, Bob Kramer.